Kidnapped, walking the scene with you in no flicks from the 90s. So keen, the VHS Club, they're the talk of the town. Breaking it down, spreading nostalgia all around. Moving and grooving to the synth-pop sound. Their insights so fresh, painting pictures profound. From Pulp Fiction to Clueless, they know it all. The genuine love for movies stands tall. Unfolding memories on that VHS screen, talking about classics like you've never seen. Katie with her charm, Matt with that wit. Together they make the VHS Club legit.
Welcome back to the VHS Club.
Hi.
Hello. We've tricked Doc into joining us today so we can talk all about Final Destination. I've been waiting for this one, and I know it's not even officially spooky season, but sorry, it's spooky
It
season.
is.
And we're,
What do you mean?
we're all in.
Yes.
There are
They-
people.
Labor
At
Day
Costco, they
happens.
started selling. Exactly. There you go.
Labor Day's over. It's spooky season.
It is
Yeah.
spooky
They
season.
started putting the decorations up in August, so
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We're
if
those-
Starbucks has PSLs, then it's on.
All right, it's on.
Yeah.
It's on. Well, if you have not seen this one, like Josh is saying, he has not seen this one and knows nothing about it. Well, buckle up. This is we're going all the way back to Y2K. This came out in the year 2000, 25 years in the past, which still is kind of surreal. I was like, it was like 10 years ago or so, somewhere there, 5-ish years, but no, 25 years ago. There are 6 movies in total. The 6th one just came out, but we are only talking about the first one more or less tonight because I didn't have time to rewatch all of them. But
I stopped after 2, and now I'm like, I'm going to watch the rest. I get to have me a little blend party. I mean, binge party.
The third one, Katie and I loved because when it came out on DVD, it was Choose Your Own Adventure. So you could
She told
click
me.
through the DVD and pick
Yeah.
different deaths, different endings, like who dies next. Like it was super fun.
That's wild. I think I would like that. I think I would like that anyway.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
it is definitely the most fun, and that's probably like my fondest memory. I super enjoy Final Destination. So sorry for anyone that is not.
It's like movie as a video game.
But yeah, the fact that they released a box set and the third one had a Choose Your Own Adventure, like at the time, and I mean, I honestly still I can't think of another movie that does that. Like it's in
DVD
3D,
heyday.
so it's got the like campy, ridiculous 3D glasses, like the old school, like half red, half whatever,
Red and
blue. And then in addition to being in 3D, very like cheap 3D, it also right before someone dies, like minutes before they cue up the death scene, it pauses and brings up a question, and it's like, should you do this or should you do that? So you can be directly involved.
Should Cindy go into the tanning bed?
Yeah.
No, Cindy, don't.
Don't go in the tanning
Trust
bed.
us.
Don't go in the tanning bed. But we should rewind and let Nat explain what this movie is about, because this one, kind of a novel concept, I think, for its time and maybe in general. What's this one about, Nat?
So a bunch of kids are going on a high school Euro trip. And just before the trip, one of the kids, played by Canadian legend Devon Sawa. Sorry, just like, Devon Sawa. Been in love with him since I was like 6. I would say it's a Canadian thing, but it's not. He falls asleep and he like while he's sleeping, he sees the plane fall apart and everybody dies, and then he wakes up and he freaks out while he's on the plane. Not everybody gets off, a couple of them get off, and then the plane does explode and everybody dies except for the ones that get off. So then we quickly realize that they weren't supposed to cheat death. He shouldn't have had this vision.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the survivors are being picked off by
death itself.
By death. Yeah.
In
and
order.
That's basically it.
In order of how they were supposed to die on the plane. And I would say, maybe not my favorite part of this movie, but one of my favorite parts of this movie is they once they're like slowly starting to figure things out, but they have not yet figured out what is happening to them. They sneak into the room to see their at a funeral home to see their friend
at the morgue. Yeah,
at the morgue. It was
his best friend.
His best friend.
It's more of an embalming place than a morgue.
They sneak in to see their best friend's dead body, which is already wild, and they bump into the creepiest possible mortician.
That's what I said, the Candyman. It's the mortician. But
it's
Tony
a
Todd
movie.
is the Candyman. Yes.
It's a horror movie when the Candyman shows up.
Yeah. So the Candyman shows up.
I don't think I've ever seen Todd in any movie that's not a scary movie. I think everything I've ever seen him play is a scary movie. Yes.
Could you imagine that poor man playing a straight-laced role?
No.
I can't.
No. But he's so wonderful in this because they've broken in, and not only does he not at all care that they've broken in, or the fact that their it is such a bizarre scene. Their friend's dead body is laying in front of them moments after he's been killed, and the body has come in, and he explains to them in detail that death is coming for all of them. Which he's the reason why they have any idea what's about to happen and what to do, but it's just so completely preposterous, and yet there's something about the fact that death itself is the bad guy in this one that is so much scarier than if it was
I always thought that he was
death itself. Oh, interesting.
I thought he was the Reaper. And because he's in all of the movies, all of the Final Destinations.
Yeah, and he also makes that statement. He makes that statement, and you don't want to mess with the Grim Reaper because he's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. What about Chef? He's bad. And he says it in the most creepiest way. And it's kind of funny because they didn't adjust it. And I don't know if this is true, but the whole persona of Todd is he's one of those dudes from Louisiana that might have a big toe in the occult.
Yeah.
So the way he says it is extremely Cajun witch doctor type situation. Yeah. So it just it really meant yes, exactly. Yeah. There you go. It was very believable.
If I was one of the two kids that broke into the funeral home and this man told me that death was coming for them, I'd be like, okay, yeah, so we're dead. Got it. Understood.
Start calling people.
Yeah, I believe you immediately. There's nothing that man could say in that voice that would not be chill me to the bone.
It looks like he was born in D.C.
Oh, there you go.
But he went to school in Connecticut. So
he does have
it's not anywhere near Louisiana.
Witch Doctor Louisiana vibes, though. I'm with you on that. He pulls it off really well for someone that's not from that area.
He does give me the Baron Samedi kind of vibes, you know,
Yeah.
Oh, sadly enough, he died last year. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Oh.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Candyman. I mean, the first thought, Matt said the same thing I did. I go, hey, look, it's Candyman. I forgot he's in this.
Yeah. That's a good one.
So did I. I completely forgot he was in the franchise.
So crazy.
I think my favorite thing about this movie and why I like it so much is that it's on one hand completely preposterous, in typical 90s, early 2000s teen horror movie vibes. But then on the other hand, it's also believable enough that the fact that it's
especially in the first one.
Especially in the first one, the fact that it's death itself is like coming, you're like, okay, like there's something about it that feels a little bit more believable to me than some of the other like supernatural or even slasher movies. And I actually have to say, this makes me sound like a horrible person, but here we're all in, is like I find the character of death, whether or not it's just like an invisible character, or if you think it is the Candyman as death, but I find the character of death in this movie really interesting to watch because like death has like a very distinctive personality in this movie, even though you never directly see it. Like in that initial
Yes.
Petty.
he's so
Yeah,
petty.
that's the one.
Like,
It's
almost
very
funny,
petty, and it
like-
foreshadows in the most hilarious ways.
Yeah.
And even here's a petty one. When it comes into Miss Luton's house,
Yeah.
and it goes through the window, and she kind of looks. It goes past the linen closet, and it like messes up the sheets. Them sheets ain't got nothing to do with it. Why you got it? I mean, that lady folds her joints like she works in the Joanna section in Target, where everything is nice. The rest of Target might look like a hellhole, but somebody comes and merchandises the Joanna section and just takes her little towels and be like, and I was like, what was that for? Like, you're not even going to use those. Like, why'd you do that?
Well,
It's
that's
super
it, Doc.
stupid.
Like the death like comes
Just to freak her out.
Oh, but it just to freak her out, but also like to play with the emotions and the fear of the audience as well. It's like
The audience,
I'm
correct.
gonna kill her. No, just kidding.
Nope.
Like I'm gonna kill. Like
And why you gotta mess with the dog?
Yeah.
The dog ain't did shit.
It almost kills every single character like 4 or 5 different ways, but doesn't,
Yeah.
and then gets them in like the most brutal possible way. Like, I love the first death scene after, like, so it's picking off each one of these survivors in the order that they were supposed to die on the airplane, and so it's got the best friend who dies first. But he's in the bathroom and like first death comes in, as you said, Doc. Like it's like it like blows like the wind around, and then it blows the door closed, and then it's like it's doing all of these different things to like set up this death scene as you're watching, and you're like like it's gonna come for you. No, it's not gonna come. But at one point,
like it was
has
trying to get under
water on
Todd's
the floor.
feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Todd stepped around
Yeah.
it, and it was like, no, I still got you.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, that's just fucking.
And I love the water. So the water starts leaking from the
Yeah,
toilet,
from the
which
toilet first,
why
yeah.
the water was blue coming out of
So you
the
could see
wall,
it. Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yes.
But whatever.
Yeah, see, if they had to let it come out the back, it could be blue, right? Because
Yeah,
people put the little
correct.
things in there.
Yeah.
But it was blue coming out the wall. And I
Yeah.
was like, what?
Which, what have you? So the blue water is on the white floor, which he did not see at all. And when he steps away from it, it like stops.
It stops,
makes
yeah.
a 90-degree turn, like to follow him.
In the cracks, nonetheless.
In the cracks,
Like it had to
yeah.
have the subway tiles in order for that to work.
And those were all practical effects, which I think is absolutely incredible. Like they did
Yeah.
not use at like those were all done practically, which I just think makes it even more fun.
That's
I
That's
think
crazy.
that's what makes the first movie, the first Final Destination, makes it so much more believable in a way because it's all practical effects. So they had to figure out ways to like, make the sign fall, so that it'll hit the guy in the end. So they have all of these little sort of
They have
different
to
trickle down
line-
effects,
line up,
right?
and, yeah, exactly, and trickle down effect of
Yeah.
how it will eventually kill the person, and like it.
Yeah.
We're getting
Like they don't just push somebody in front of a
No.
bus. It's like they
Well, they do it
they
once.
have like a whole series of events that happens first, like
They do it with the exception of the girlfriend. Like her death is so.
Well, she stepped in
like,
front of it.
so quick, but it's so shocking because all the other deaths are so like intentional on the behalf of death that one you're just like. You just aren't even expecting. Like the first time, I remember the first time we saw that in the theater, we were just like, like she just
Which,
backs
to be
out.
I saw it in
fair.
I saw it in the theater,
Yeah.
and I was one of those ones. Every once in a while, in a movie, right? What Emma likes to call a jump scare.
Yeah,
There are a few that like catch everybody in the theater.
yeah.
That
That
one
one
is
was
one of the
yeah.
ones that caught everybody in the theater.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everybody all at once. Like like Michelle Yao. Everybody was like, ah! It was
'Cause I
super.
think it
All the
was so
dudes were screaming. It was
different.
funny.
It was so
Yeah, it was
different
so
than all the other
different.
He
deaths.
saw the premonition
Yeah.
of the bus, and then it's like we forgot about it because then a whole series of events happens. You know, the douchebag boyfriend with the girlfriend drives by, and then he does a U-turn in the middle of the street because he
And
like
almost kills
has,
the other kid.
I don't know, roid rage.
and almost kills Sean. Well, he's not Sean in this
Yeah,
movie.
Sean William Scott,
Friggin',
Yeah.
whatever the
I forgot
character's
his
name
name.
is.
He's a Sean in this, but
Yeah.
what's his name? Stifler.
Not
That's what I
Tom.
Yeah.
said.
Oh,
No, Stifler.
Stifler,
I said
yeah.
It's
Stifler.
right off of
I was like,
like the
oh, he
Bible
almost ran
thing.
over,
Yeah.
almost ran over Stifler. It's Billy Hitchcock, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, hey, Stifler. He almost ran over Stifler. Oh, he must be next. So-
No, and then it's like he pulls up, tries to start a fist fight with Alex, and then the girlfriend gets upset. And like if the boyfriend hadn't done that, Death wouldn't have been able to use the
Yeah.
bus at that point. So like the premonition could have been wrong,
right.
which I don't know. And that makes me think like, why is he getting these premonitions? Like, what's her name? Ali Larder said, like, well,
Yeah.
maybe you were supposed to get the premonitions and we were supposed to survive.
Yeah. Yeah, that
So
I
it
think
kind
that
of
Well,
it plays a lot with like,
it plays a lot with your
is it
emotion.
fate?
Yeah, exactly. You're like,
Yeah.
is it supposed to be this way or
That was
not?
the scramble the plot, right? In a way, that was a scramble the plot because we had come to the conclusion that Alex could figure out what was going on, and he could kind of like he almost knew he needed to thwart it. He didn't know he needed to thwart it until after Terry. But when she said, "Oh, well, maybe this is the order it was supposed to be in, and you're helping us get past it," that was a good scramble.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
corny part was to me, and I like it because it's corny on purpose, I assume. So they're in a small town, and they're on what would be Main Street, 36 Main Street area type situation. Why is Keanu Reeves driving that bus? That bus was doing about 60.
I mean, to
In
have her
the
literally explode,
She
yeah,
literally
it
yeah,
was
explodes in the
60s
movie.
being
yeah.
generous. Like,
Right? Okay. So why was
It's a
Keanu
crossover
driving
scene.
that bus
Yeah.
in the middle of the town? Because that bus came flying. I was like, shoot. I was like, whoa. Even the train wasn't moving as fast as
and
that dang bus.
it was at an intersection too. So the bus was just like blowing through that intersection willy-nilly at a crosswalk.
At a crosswalk, yeah.
Because she was at a crosswalk, like a pedestrian crosswalk. So technically she would have had the right of way. The bus is like, fuck
Hey,
that.
hey,
Got a
two wrongs
schedule
don't
to
make a
follow.
right. She exploded.
Yeah,
I just remember
did notice
that in the movie theater, just everyone's reaction to that, and I don't think any of us heard the dialogue that happened later until it came out to DVD/VHS
Yeah.
because it
Oh, the
was so
theater
loud.
exploded.
Theater.
Yeah.
Everybody was exploding and then laughing, and people, of course, I seen it in here. Everyone's like, "Oh, bruh, oh, about a lady, she would get kerranged." That's what they call it in Hawaii. When you get kerranged. When in the cartoons when they hit somebody in the
Yeah.
olos and the eyeballs go ooga,
Yeah.
it's called kerrang olives. It's like, oh, her olives got kerranged. It was so loud in the theater. So we were kind of laughing and screaming and crying all at the same time. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was kind of neat to see it again at home in the regular way.
Well, there
And
is
then
something
catch
about
the
this movie
dialogue.
that that it like I feel like there are certain movies that really are meant to be like shared in a large group. Like, so the theater experience for this, like I'm happy that I saw this one initially in the theater because I do think, like, even though I've seen it a bazillion times since, like there is something that's like shocking about it. And again, like the character of Death almost taunts the viewer and the victim like throughout the movie. You're like, will they actually be able to cheat Death? Like, is Death going to get each one of these people? Like, will they, are they going to die? Are they not going to die? Like, can Alex save them in time? So there's all these kinds of, and it's so obviously at the same time, like overly gratuitous and overly violent. So there's like kind of a, as you said, like a
It was
comic
comically
effect to
violent.
it.
Yeah.
So at the same time, it's not, this movie is not a scary movie by any means. It's gratuitous. It's certainly violent, as we've been saying, but it is not a movie that's like intentionally going to scare you unless you do not like jump scares. Like, so if you don't
Right.
like things popping out at you, then absolutely this is the movie. But
It might have been
I love
one
that
of the
about it.
first culty jump scare movies for the U.S.
Yeah, I think it might have
Because
been.
Blair
Yeah.
Witch came way later.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna double check.
I find
we
like
had,
this
the
one
slasher
and Urban
ones,
Legends
but they are not the same.
had a lot of jump scare,
Yeah.
but it's not quite the
Yeah.
yeah. This one I found, because the actors were so good at it, and at the beginning when the plane crashed and they're in the airport, and obviously like Homeland Security or whoever, like the FBI is there, and they're like, we have questions, because
yeah.
like
Yeah.
which they would, and they would follow poor Alex around, because who's gonna believe I had a dream?
Yeah.
Like that, it just, he seems very suspicious. But when the characters are all going through, they're being interviewed, and you could see the shock and the grief hitting them, and they took the time to really build that emotion for the viewers. So it is scary in the sense that, like, you see how upset and how much these characters are grieving, and then you find out, well, they're gonna die anyways. Like, it's like, and they're surviving through all this trauma, and the poor teacher, she did not take it well.
I found that both, like, at one point, in rewatching it this time around, I was like, wow, they are all very harsh towards Alex. So, like, Alex basically, without even realizing it, like, inadvertently saves the lives of, I forget how many there are, like 7 or 6 of them or whatever it is that end up off the plane. And they're all, like, initially angry at him before the plane blows up. And then you're like, wow, like, and then they're, like, relieved. But as we get further along, they're also, like, angry and mistrusting of him, and like they're like creeped out by him, and kind of the teacher is like overtly like, stay the hell away from me level angry, and
she's like, you terrify me,
which is like believable, but also like you just feel kind of bad for Alex. You're like, he saved
you feel
lives.
bad for him, but
well, Mr. Wagner was so
badly.
mad at him too, right? I mean, Mr. Wagner was one of the most pissed at him, and I think it was just the one thing that was weird, and what makes it more creepy is he was the most diaphoretic person I ever seen in my life. Like, dude, why you didn't even do anything? You're like dripping with sweat, and you didn't do anything. Like, so they made it better from he was always drenched in the tense moments, because that also adds a level of like ooginess to his character. Like, ooh, stay away from me.
Yeah. It was, I think it is just right now, like, it is a really interesting kind of setup, it like all the way through. And there's something about, I don't know, like the idea of like a plane, like, I don't know, people are already afraid of flying. Like there's so much to this.
It's a phobia.
It's like, kind of like inherently scary in like the ways that these characters die, but then it's done so comically. Like I really think this is actually, for being like a very sort of cheesy, like popcorn teen movie, it's actually really well constructed. Like, it's well written, and it's well
you know
done.
what was funny is when the plane in his dream, like the top blew off and the people started getting sucked out the window. That was ludicrous to me at the time, because I jumped out of many planes, and we opened the door on purpose so you can jump out. And I was like, yeah, this is absolutely ludicrous. And then maybe like 2 years later, 3 years later, Hawaiian Airlines had one of the roofs open up. Actually, it was Aloha Airlines. This was before they closed down. The one of the roof opens like a sardine can and sucked a bunch of people out. Right? So I think 3 people got sucked out. And then, of course, we had the Alaska one happen. But at the time when we were watching that, it's like, oh, what a hilarious thing. That's not going to happen. But when the girls are trying to grab each other's hand, I'm like, so if you did catch her, are you strong enough to hold her against that much wind pressure? It would have sucked you right out too. So
hold her, and she has her seatbelt on. So her and the chair. Which technically was bolted to the ground. That's I mean, you hear about things like the cabin pressure and that happening, but you're right. When we saw it in theaters, like the way the plane went down was so over the top. Like it just seemed like people got sucked out.
But then this year, there's been tons of accidents, so it's kind of crazy.
It's like
The fact that it's John Denver every time. It's like, why do you keep playing John Denver?
Yeah.
I hate that
I know when
song.
the teacher's like, "Oh, mom's favorite. I'll put this record on." I'm like, "Oh, now you're asking for it." Like
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah,
like
never
you
been
called death
high.
over. You're like, "Pick me, okay?" Like,
Oh, wait. I remember now why he kept doing that, because John Denver died in the
Yeah.
plane crash.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I forgot about that part.
With-
Yeah.
There's also we ended
That's
And
up
then
so
with
crazy.
the street performers singing it in French in Paris, I'm like,
Yes.
oh man. And it took them forever to realize.
yeah. Yeah, there's a
So
lot of
crazy.
nonsense. We hilariously or spookily, we ended up actually doing this episode on September 25th, which is both Alex, the main character's birth date, and the plane I was supposed to take or did take off at 9:25. So
The
it was like
flight number,
So
yeah.
so we're just past 9:25 p.m. right now on September 25th, talking about Final Destination, which just happened to be a
Okay,
complete
so
fluke, but-
here's one for you. Here's one of Doc's weird. I swear to God, I didn't go to the dispensary. Cognitive leaps. The flight was 180,
the flight 180. Yep.
right? And if you're supposed to die and you cheat death, you cause death to do a
A
180.
Yep.
When Alex did and Todd didn't step on the water took two 90-degree turns to get him.
Yep.
180.
Yep.
And I want to call him Chet because of Weird Science, but not Clark. What the heck is that dumb boy's name?
Kerr Smith.
My God, why am I dumb?
Stifler? No. The
No,
other one, Dawson's Creek
Chad.
guy?
Yeah, Dawson's Creek.
His
Yeah,
real name is
Yeah.
Kerr.
'Cause he played-
I don't know what his
Kerr.
Yeah.
I know, I just want to call him Kerr Smith.
His name is
Carter.
Smith.
There you go. It was
Carter.
Carter. Yeah, so Kerr, which is funny because, like, three of them played in Dawson's Creek. Okay, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
It's true.
he got hit by the sign and it said 180.
Yeah.
It said 081, but because it was upside down. But I was like, okay, y'all are pretty funny with the callbacks. Like, the callbacks were very incredible.
There were a ton of callbacks, Easter eggs. Like if this is a movie that is carefully and cleverly made, so if you are at all into horror movies, this is a fun one to watch over and over again, because you are going to pick up little things that you didn't listen to or notice initially or pick up on. But you're right, and Flight 180 actually appears in more than just this movie. So the numbers 180 echoes through a bunch of the different movies. So
it's so good.
yeah, it
That was
is.
well done.
It is.
It's well
great.
thought of.
Yeah.
Well thought out.
I do really like so obviously, I think still my favorite of the death scenes. I don't even know, because I was gonna say the water, because the practical effect is just so interesting, and it's so kind of funny to watch as Death is trying to figure out how to set everything up as he's moving around. But then the bus, the jump scare in the bus is incredible. But then I absolutely love, not a full death scene, but I love at the very end where Clear's character is she's runs outside to save her dog, and Death is coming for her, and Alex is trying to get to her, and the FBI agents are there. Everyone is trying to stop her from dying, but also try to arrest Alex. And Death is just there's lightning coming down. It's pouring water all over the ground. So you're oh, she's gonna be electrocuted. And then
there's a live wire.
And then she's in the car, and Death is knocking over the gasoline to explode the car and rolling it under. Yeah. But there's the moment where it comes to a head, and Alex is trying to figure out how to basically cheat Death to get her out, and he's telling her to stay still. But I love that Death is just flinging this live wire at him, and there's fire everywhere. The amount of
he did
chaos.
take a metal shovel to try and hit the live wire away, which I was well, it's what's at hand, but also
the amount of chaos in that
you
scene.
were going to get electrocuted.
And then also I was the amount of chaos in that scene is insane to me. And then also it was at that point of the movie, which is almost at the end of the movie, where I was okay, so she's supposed to be an orphan, but she's living in this beautiful art. Is she just alone in that house? And then I was where did Alex's parents go, who are very involved at the beginning of the movie, and then are just not there.
I mean, he's on the lam from the FBI.
I guess that's true, but they're just not in the the latter two 2/3 of the movie. They're just gone. They're out of the movie completely.
So this is crazy, and I just now realized this, that Alex Browning is named after Todd Browning.
They're all named after horror movie like phenoms.
Yeah,
Yep.
AKA
Hitchcock.
like OG Dracula,
Yep.
Yeah.
like the unknown, like, only the shadow knows. Like, that's crazy.
Yep.
And Terry is Terry Cheney after Lon Chaney, like one of the most famous. That's crazy. Didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
and Billy
pretty
Hitchcock.
insane.
They're all
Billy
named.
Hitchcock,
Yep.
that's right.
Yeah.
I didn't even, that one just blew, I just went right past me. But I I think it's super funny that her name is Clear Rivers,
Yeah.
because I swear the first two times I saw this movie, I thought it was Claire.
I thought it was Claire
like in
until I read
days.
notes. Even today, I thought it was
Yeah.
Claire until I read like facts, and I
Oh,
was like,
really?
"Oh, it's
Yeah.
Claire." Yeah,
It's
which is
Clear Rivers. Her parents was definitely smoking some wacky tobacco,
Yeah.
but it matches that. They made her the, like, the artist, the
Yeah.
ethereal character, like, she's there. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's just really interesting how they tied in so many little references, including the bus that ran her over is Ale Ale, the blue, red, white, and blue flag, but in the French way, not in the American way.
I didn't notice that. Yeah, it's fine. Like
I mean,
once you start reading
aren't
facts
you
about it, you're
from
like,
Canada? You're
no,
supposed
but
to
I
catch
didn't.
that one.
I didn't notice it on the bus.
How did they do in the French? Was it good or was it bad?
The French was
French was
fantastic.
fantastic,
Like
yeah.
for sure
Okay,
that
okay.
was like the teacher speaking French. I was
Yeah.
like, oh no, he speaks French.
He
Like
speaks
he
French.
didn't
Oh, he was
learn
good.
it for the movie.
Yeah,
He actually
he seems
he
like he
literally
was flowing,
speaks
but I
French.
don't know.
Did you
Yeah,
see
It
okay, that was
was
cool.
more than
it was
two
partially
teachers?
filmed in Canada.
So, like
Was
in
it what?
the, I forget whether it was in a fact that I read or like the description or whatever. It says that it's a class of 40 and there were 4 teachers, and I was like, I only saw 2
Yeah.
teachers.
I mean there was other
And
adults,
then they
but
say
we
that
only
40
had
people-
dialogue from 2.
Then I think at one point they said that 40 people died, and I was like, but then these guys lived. I was like, I don't know, something with the math was not mathing for me. I was like,
Well, I
we
think
only
at
see
one
2
point
teachers.
they were saying how they thought everybody had died on the flight because everybody technically checked in.
Oh, okay. Maybe
Like
that's
on the
what it was.
news was reporting at one point like, oh, like every soul on that plane was lost, except like some of them are sitting at home watching it on the news.
Yeah.
I want to say my favorite death was when the train goes by. So
Oh, yeah. That was a good
after
one.
they all jump out of the car and Alex gets Carl gets him out of the car because he knew the seatbelt would break. And Death was really pissed. And this is where his pettiness comes in, because he's like, you know what? That one got skipped. So he throws this piece of metal and cuts off half of Stifler's head, of Billy's head. And like, it was just so petty. He made it as gross and horrific for these kids to witness as possible. I thought that was
100%.
kind of funny.
And of course the question was, well, if you skip me, then who's next? I was like, oh, the timing of it all was so just crazy.
And that one is
Yeah.
good because like you're right, like it's sort of like an impulse on Death's part because Death was trying to
Yeah,
kill
because
the
it
other
wasn't
character.
planned.
But it also
Yeah.
gives you, it's not as shocking as the bus jump scare because it's not immediate.
No.
But like, so you see
But it
as
was
the train
much
going
more
by,
grotesque.
but it's way more grotesque. Yeah.
You see
Yeah.
like part of the brain. Like you
Yeah.
see, I was
Well,
like,
when
oh,
you
I like
see
how
the
they use
piece-
the different.
You see the piece like
You see
jiggling.
the piece fluttering on the track. That's when you
Yeah.
knew. You're like, oh, y'all made Death
Yeah.
mad, and she ain't playing today because we
She's pissed.
all have a point where you and the sibs are doing something stupid, and then you just happen to cut an eye back at mom, and mom just happens to catch you right there, and you have that thought, like, this is the moment when he knew he effed up, and next thing you know. That's what that
Yeah.
reminded me of. It reminded me of when you finally got caught
For
doing
sure.
something and mom was about to take you out.
There's a flip flop flying at your head from
I'll
somewhere.
tell you, it's coming somewhere. Look, I can see Luis ducking in the chat right now because it just gave him
Get
the
down.
thought of the slipper coming. It's like you start flinching, man.
Doc,
Yeah,
what was your
definitely.
favorite death scene? Did you have a favorite?
in a way, I would probably say it was when it tried to get Alex the first time, because I'm thinking to myself, maybe the only thing that scares me is not even, I live in Hawaii, so I'm not afraid of drowning. But considering I live near some of the deepest oceans and most powerful water, if I was to drown in 1 inch of water, I'd be
So
irritated. I'd be
pissed.
like, freaking loser, bro. Like, we have waves the size of buildings. Okay. When Waimea Bay is doing 30 foot or 40 foot on the front, it's double, right? So when you calculate a wave, you calculate a wave in a curve. So if someone in Hawaii says there's an 80-foot wave, it's 160 feet.
Oh my
So
god.
the idea of dying in 1 inch of water with a tree on the back of your head, you're like,
A cedar tree too. Like it was
I've
just
seen a
like a
tree
cedar bush.
nonetheless, right?
But
So it was
flimsy.
that just messed with me, and I mean, I kind of knew they were going to take him out because he was the main character, and
Yeah.
then also it was funny when he's eating the devil ham
I know
because
that
I'm
scene
like,
is
it's
wonderful.
okay, because we all have had that. And anybody who's done any camping or outdoor sort of stuff, one of the old people in your family puts you on the devil ham.
Yeah.
And devil ham is one of those things that in the right situation is good. But
It
to
can
eat a
be
whole
good. Yeah.
spoonful of it at one time is gross. Like I used to go out of my way to buy it at the store, but you gotta have it on a cracker. You need that spray cheese. It cannot just be
What?
like on the spoon. Yeah,
Spray
it has to.
cheese? Dear
You gotta
God.
have the ghetto ass spray cheese. It goes
I have
perfectly with
never.
it.
I
You
don't even
never
know if
seen
they
that?
sell. I've seen it in
Oh,
movies.
Mary, it is no, it's
Yeah.
legit. It's like a
Spray it
can. It looks
on.
like
Yeah.
whipped cream, and then you just spread it on. And the cracker is either a straight up townhouse buttery townhouse or chicken and a biscuit, which is basically a
That
cracker
sounds
with chicken
amazing.
bouillon on it. Oh, it's so good. And
Mm.
you hit it and you put it on, and it's just it goes that goes good. But the idea of scooping it with a spoon and just eating it, because the first layer is coagulated if you don't stir it,
Yeah.
Oh
because all the
God.
juice flows to the top, and then you realize because they don't show it, but somehow it ends up in the trash can, and when it rolls out, it's still kind of full. So craft services or props department didn't get like 2 cans. They're only $2, but they used the same can
Well,
from the
they
one
knew
that's
that.
supposed to have been in the trash, and nobody would touch it, so it was only half eaten, right?
Oh,
And the way that it tried to get him with the door, and he was like, "Ha ha, got you." Ooh, rusty tetanus. Ha ha. He thought he
that
was
was
cool.
funny.
And then again, Death was like, "No, nobody gets away from me, damn it." So I think that was interesting, even though he didn't die.
Yeah.
It was funny,
Yeah.
like how he was in there taping up the corners of things,
Mhm.
cabinet doors.
Using
He,
like asbestos gloves to open the tin.
Yeah.
yeah, to open a tin so he don't
Fire.
cut himself. It
Yeah.
was all of that was too funny for him to almost be taken out by a can of ham. And his first bite of ham, I was thinking, oh, he is one that was in the cabinet for a long
He'll
time,
be poisoned. Yeah.
so it's ptomaine poison. And then the other thing that's funny is paying homage to a movie that I don't think Cabin in the Woods came out before this, but I swear it's the same
No.
cabin. And then she said, "Oh, we'll just go to my dad's cabin." I'm like, "Okay, let's get horror cliche. Let's put you in the cabin by yourself."
And again,
Was this the
how does
Evil
this,
Dead cabin?
how does this teenager have a
Could be.
full ass house that it's a like beautifully
And a
large house
cabin.
and a cabin
And a cabin.
but no parents that are helping to pay for these costs?
Well, her
Well,
father
and pretty
died. It seems her mother's still alive, but just left. Like
Okay.
left her in
Yeah.
the
But like
house.
probably
Maybe
not covering
the
the
dad's
cost of those.
insurance came through.
Yeah,
No, maybe
sorry.
the dad's insurance
Maybe.
came through.
I
And
mean, she seems
she
like she has
also is an
money.
artist. As an artist, if she's selling some of her
I
art,
guess
there's
that's
part of
true.
it. But she has elaborate art tools. Like she
Like
has a MIG welder.
welding.
Yeah.
MIG welders ain't cheap, right?
No,
I
I
mean,
have no
they got
idea.
one in the garage, but it ain't cheap.
George is saying that he's heading to Walmart tomorrow for some Underwood deviled ham and spray cheese. You go, George. You go,
Yo,
George.
it's
You need
it's
some
good,
crackers,
man.
too. Yeah.
You
will have
gotta
to
be
try
chicken in the
it.
biscuits.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Duck,
it's
I
I
will have to
literally
glorious.
try it.
thought the exact same thing. Like I actually like deviled ham if it's on crackers.
So do I.
So like he was eating it and I was like, oh no, you don't want to eat that. Just with a spoon.
Because I liked it so much on crackers. One time I thought I was cool,
Yeah.
and I put a whole can on bread, and I was going to make a little sandwich out of it. It
Oh
don't
dear.
taste good like that because it's too much, right?
God.
It's almost like a pate. You put it in a little bit of crackers, but make a pate sandwich might seem a little weird. Like it's kind of like that.
I'm
Such a
having
strange.
flashbacks to the 80s when I want to say Spam was quite trendy, and I know you're from Hawaii, so Spam is
Spam
always
is always
trendy.
trendy.
Oh,
But
spam is my jam.
no, it got to a point where I was just like, Dad, if you make me one more Spam sandwich, like now it triggers me. You open a tin and I'll like
Because you can smell it.
I don't even need to smell it. I just need to hear it, and I'm like PTSD. I'm like so triggered
What's
by
funny? Okay, so
Spam.
deviled
Oh
ham
God.
is almost like ground up spam. The
Yeah.
tastes are very similar, but there is a difference.
That's
But
how
they're
Death
pretty
was getting
close.
at. It's gonna be a can of spam
She gonna
as it
have the
comes to her.
asbestos gloves, and I
Oh
like how
man.
he put them on like it was the elegant, diner
Mhm.
situation. He's like,
Yeah.
this it's too funny.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
he
do
was
have to
all
say my
in.
dad made a good Spam sandwich. Like he grilled it like almost like a grilled cheese. Like he made it really good, but it
Yeah.
got to a point. It's like that and bologna. Forget it. I can't.
Oh, bologna.
It's so
The fried bologna sandwiches, man. Oh yeah, when Devin fell down the rocks and he landed right in front of the tree,
Oh
and the
yeah.
look on his face,
yeah.
like,
That
Yeah.
clip was in like every single trailer when we were chatting earlier too. Like that one, and then the other really super like one that always sticks in our head is actually from the second movie, which is the log truck, where we're all now traumatized
Yeah,
about
talk about
log
generational
trucks.
trauma.
Yeah,
Like still
well,
to
the
this
log truck
day.
is in the first one.
it's in
They
the
they foreshadowed the second movie because there's a log truck that passes them when they're in the main street town.
oh okay, all right. I don't know
Right?
if I noticed
Oh
that.
no,
Yeah.
maybe it's in the French town. So in one of the jumpy cuts where they're doing a bunch of stuff, there's a log truck in that part of the movie before it ends up being in the second movie.
Yeah,
I love how it had such an impact, such a cultural impact that
yep,
every time somebody sees a log truck, they will post it on their social media
yep,
today. And
yeah.
then to market the new movie that came out this summer, they had a bunch of trucks driving around, like they had
They
log
had log
trucks
trucks driving around with ads for
driving
the movie.
around. And on the back, it's like, is it your time?
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
Oh
that's
my God.
so
That's
dark.
brilliant.
It was
Well,
amazing.
again, they're
Brilliant.
the king of like the callbacks and the Easter eggs and
Yeah.
random things on the shelf like Death of a Salesman, and of course Terry's a salesperson and she gets taken out by a bus.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it is kind of crazy the things that they were able to sort of work in. And this is why sometimes I get irritated when the critics will see something like this and give it like a 35 out of 100.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did you
Well, that's
catch
because you didn't
all
get
of,
it.
Yeah.
yeah, did you catch all of the brilliance that's hidden in here? Like, and especially
Even,
a movie critic should know about the names of the characters because
Yeah.
they should know who Lon Chaney is,
yeah,
and Todd Browning. Like, they should know.
Yeah, you got to
like
take
look
it
it
into
up
the
too.
genre. Like
Yeah.
you might not like a horror movie or a scary movie or a teen like you might not like some of the elements within it, but I don't think you can take away from like it being a well-made movie. This is a well-made movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even if you don't like
It's
the genre.
And
even
believe it or not, those kids were all pretty much A-list
They were all
actors.
at
A-list
the time. Yeah.
actors. They were all coming off of like
Yeah.
either huge like TV shows or movies. In fact, like pulling out the list, Sarah Jessica Parker, Tobey Maguire, and Kirsten Dunst were all considered for roles in like every teen actor at the time wanted to be in this movie. Like this was
Yeah.
a giant deal. And again, if you think about it from a timing standpoint, this is coming on the I guess not immediately on the heels, but it's like it's coming off of Scream reinvigorating the slasher movie genre, but infusing that with satire and humor. And so this was
Yeah.
taking that popularity and playing with the genre, but taking it in instead of outside of kind of the slasher world into this world of like of the scariness being in the everyday possibility that you will die a gruesome death, like which is like in itself scary. Like there is sort of
Yeah.
the paranoia of everyday life, right? Like where anything could happen to you
Well,
at any
this
point.
also is 2000, and we were all into the whole Y2K
Yep.
thing, and a lot of people were afraid that like airplanes were just gonna
Drop out of
like
the
have all kind
sky.
of
Come out of
weird
the sky.
problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that when she puts the water into the computer monitor,
Yeah.
I
We
was
didn't talk
like,
about her death. Her death is brutal. It's probably the worst out of
oh,
all of them. Like
that's the most
death
petty.
just
That
like
was the
keeps
most
killing
petty.
her, even though she is complete. And like even at the very
He, like,
end, she's
tortured
still
her.
alive. And like
He
and
tortured
Yeah.
her before killing
oh,
her.
it's brutal.
Death being.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna take the knife out, and paramedic is going, don't you dare pull the knife out. And he's like, okay, well, just hold it steady, and then the stuff falls on her. And
Yeah.
when she threw the towel up there, the foreshadowing was, I mean, their foreshadowing was on purpose,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
masterful.
Oh yeah,
And I
masterful.
think
Yeah.
that's a lot of times foreshadowing is corny, but they made the foreshadowing masterful.
Yeah.
What's his face? Wong. What the heck is Wong's? James Wong. Hello.
Yeah.
It's an easy name.
Yeah. He was
James
also known for
Wong.
X-Files. Yeah.
Yeah, but that foreshadowing was just brilliant. It was so well done. And even like Nat said, when she busts out the John Denver record, we like, come on, lady. But again, that's not for her, and it's not for the death character. It's for us,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? It did exactly what it was supposed to do. So we all in the theater go, oh, come on, are you crazy? What are you doing?
It's like Death had fun with this one. Like he was
Yeah.
he was amusing himself. He was trying all different things. The one thing though, those old computer screens, they imploded, not exploded. So I was
Correct.
a little kind of like, oh well, things
Like,
wouldn't fly out
no.
of it
Yeah.
at her.
Yeah.
But
Yes, that was my original point before I got lost in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should
Yeah.
have imploded and not exploded.
Yeah.
And if you ever see a CRT implode, it is the loudest,
death coming for
scariest.
you.
If you want a legit
Oh,
jump
yeah, yeah.
scare, oh my goodness, it is one of the craziest things. And we were doing repairs in the back at a computer store I used to work at, and my
Yikes.
buddy dropped like a long screwdriver into the back of the yoke, and that thing went bah! We were like,
Oh, no.
yo, I think every single one of us had to change undies right there. It was kind of crazy. And I had been back from the military maybe like a year and a
Oh
half.
jeez.
I legit thought I lost everything. And I was just like, Paul. His name was Paul too. I was like, Paul Tevis. Paul Tevis, if you ever watch this, I just want you to know you caused me to soil my
It was the
memories.
ultimate Doc Rock jump scare. Yeah.
I thought I was gone, bro. I thought I was gone for sure. I was definitely touching cotton on that one.
Yeah. No, that was a good also that scene is why I never want to have a gas stove.
Yeah, no.
And like gas stoves are not very common in Canada because we have a lot of hydroelectricity.
I
But
have one here, but it
I
does
was
freak
like,
me out because of this movie.
oh yeah,
But
when the
why?
pilot
Why
wouldn't
she
start,
gotta
no
light
thanks.
it? Why she gotta light it like all crazy? First of all, when it
Turn
goes
it
out,
off.
Yeah.
you don't light the burner. You light the pilot.
Pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes 1 second to lift the stove and light the pilot. The
Yeah.
pilot don't go boom.
Yeah.
She got the long match, and she
Well,
look at it like fire. What a wonderful thing. Like, what are you doing, lady? Just light it.
I did have a very horrific experience more than once with a pilot light while I was in Australia because they use gas in Australia. The pilot light for the oven wouldn't go off, and the only way to get it on is to take a really long match and stick your head in the oven to light it at the back of the
Oh
oven
yes.
because it was an old
Back in the
stove.
day,
No.
you had to go in the oven to do it,
Yeah,
like Hansel
and
and Gretel.
yeah,
It's
that
not a good analogy.
I did not enjoy that. And also that year was one of the coldest in record in Melbourne
jeez.
or Melbourne for our Australians. We don't do the R's in Australia, so it's Melbourne. It was so cold and there's no like central heating because it is Australia, but it was, I think, -3 to -5 Celsius. So it was actually very cold. It was their winter time in all fairness, but it's also, that's still shockingly cold for Australia.
Mhm.
So they did have a gas in the apartment we were staying in, had a gas fireplace. But obviously it hadn't been lit for a while. So my brother and our friend Allison were lighting it, and I'm sitting on this really high-backed sofa having a beer, watching a movie, and they're trying to figure out how to light it. And then all of a sudden I just feel this, I feel like a
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
a fireball like
Aw.
encircled the couch, and I hear my brother go, "My sister!" Because they thought they roasted me because I was in the fireball, but it was a very quick, like 3-second, like woof, you know. Anyways, we got it lit and we didn't freeze to death that night, but I was almost a marshmallow.
That is not good. That is not
Yeah,
good.
so me and gas, absolutely not. And this movie did not help the situation.
You're gonna have
no.
mad s'mores.
No, seriously, I literally, if the couch wasn't probably made out of like asbestos, it was like one of those old tweed from the
Yeah.
60s, so God knows what was in that material, and it was very high backed, so like that
Probably saved your life.
prehistoric toxic
You could have had a
material
Michael
saved my
Jackson
life.
moment.
Oh yeah, it was shocking.
Well, supposedly
Yeah.
That's
this
crazy.
movie was so like became such a cult like phenomenon that people actually refer
Yeah.
to moments like that as Final Destination moments.
Oh yeah,
so that
we
was
do.
your Final
Whenever you
Destination
almost, yeah,
100%.
yeah.
yeah.
Which I think is crazy. It did $112 million at the box office on a $23 million budget. So
Wow.
it actually like,
crazy.
it as you said like had an all-star like teen actor cast, and it certainly performed all the way, which is no surprise why it has so many movies out now. And I think part of it too is that like we were talking about it earlier, but they really were very playful also with like box sets. You know, they released like extra special, you know, bonus content, alternate endings where like came with all
Yeah.
of the DVDs. So
The
they
heyday
really,
of DVDs.
yeah, they really played with the format as well, which I think helped a ton in increasing sales and popularity once it was out of the theater, which I think is cool. I really feel like they need to bring that back. Like I know that we don't do physical medium as much anymore, but like even if it was like a rental on, I guess Netflix played with that a while back with the idea of doing.
Well, they
which show
started
was it where
they
they
started
did,
as
like-
rental.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is like they should play with like
yes.
fun formats for movies, whether it's like choose your own adventure like Final Destination 3 did, or
Some
Or-
Especially
movies,
with the,
bonus
some
content.
movies should
especially
have
with the thing.
Yeah.
they should do Easter eggs in
Easter
the
eggs.
menus
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like Netflix, like when you click on the movie or any of them, you
Yeah.
click on the movie or whatever you're watching, it has its like homepage.
Yeah.
It should have, you know, some movies, if they want, a lot of movies, especially Netflix, releases to Netflix, but then also to theaters. But when they release to Netflix, they should do stuff like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Really
Yeah,
fun.
Apple tried a little bit this year with the F1 trailer. They had a haptic trailer,
Ooh, that's cool.
and it's actually, you just go into your Apple TV icon and search for F1 haptic trailer. It's kind of cool because your phone is like when when they're driving around, you can feel it in your phone. But yeah, I totally agree, especially because you're basically watching on a computer with Apple TV, Roku, Fire Stick, whatever.
Yeah.
You can use the remote control to choose the adventure.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool. And the other thing that I think would be really rad is you put it on, and so say you're doing a watch party, right? And we got 10 of us sitting around, drinking, hitting 40s and watching some movie. You use your phone to take votes on what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That would be
Right.
fun,
And
especially
so, like,
with
for
these
Final
movies.
with Final Destination, it'd be
Like,
like,
who's
okay,
next?
so when they say who's next,
Yeah.
right, we could just all vote, and then we all would have
Yeah.
said, Carter, because Carter's a dipshit.
Yeah.
But, it would have been really cool to see that,
His death was kind of the worst out of all of them because he finally pulled that giant roid stick out of his arse.
Yeah, he finally became a nice
Yeah.
guy,
was
and then Death
finally
takes
a
him
nice
out.
person, and then Death's like smashed. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's
Who would
brutal.
have thought we'd all be sitting here in
I know,
friends?
yeah, they're all like so nice. Everything's. I love that for whatever reason. Like, talk about getting back on the horse. They're like, after literally the most horrific possible thing could happen to them, they're like, let's
and
go to
6 months
France."
later?
Yeah, like 6 months later.
which
whatever.
can we
But you
talk
know-
about how they all looked like a couple of years older?
Yeah.
Like, in that last
Oh,
scene, I'm
well,
like,
because you
like,
went
that
to
was a
death,
reshot.
right? Actually,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
the true was a reshot, but yeah, because you
Yeah.
went through death. I think maybe when they tested or
Yeah,
screened the
the ending
movie,
wasn't good enough. Yeah.
somebody said because of the amount of teens that are going to watch this thing, you got to come up with
Like a
something that's
positive
a little
ending. Yeah.
bit more positive ending for teens. And so, if like you said, if nothing else, it was a great message to teens to get back on their horse and like go
Yeah,
at
Yeah.
it
I guess
again.
that's true. Apparently,
Yeah.
I never watched any alternate endings, but apparently there is an alternate ending where Clear is pregnant, and there's another alternate ending where Alex survives much longer. I guess so. I don't know. We'll have to see
See,
if we can watch some
in
of the
the
alternate endings.
if this movie was made today, what would have happened at the end is we would have found out that Carter was closeted,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
he
is
had
why
that
he was
vibe.
being a d bag.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course. He had a crush on Alex,
yeah,
like we all did.
yeah.
Right.
Like, how could you not?
Stefan Sawa.
Okay, Ned. This is why Ned's not allowed to direct the films. Okay.
Have you seen Devin Sawa? I mean, come on now. I
Like,
still
wait,
follow
it's
him on
Devin
But
Instagram.
Sawa.
it was so matter of fact, like we all did.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was just well
No,
done,
we
well
know
done.
you did. Everyone did.
Yeah.
Everyone still
No,
has
he
a
was
crush on
very
Devin Sawa.
charming. Yeah.
Oh my
That's super
gosh.
funny.
All right, well,
Oh yeah, because you did another one of his movies, and that's all you guys talked about. It was a TV
Mhm.
show. There was a
Yeah, we
TV
did
show that you
the Loxley, the kid
oh, Robbie
hacker.
yeah.
Loxley.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
There,
like, we didn't
there
do
you go.
Casper, so yeah,
No,
yeah.
yeah.
I
We didn't
remember
do
now.
We
Casper.
didn't do
I
Casper.
rewatched Casper as an adult, and I was like, I have so many issues with this movie now.
Yeah, it's a
It's
bit of a red
really,
flag.
really too dark.
Bro.
Yeah.
You know what? So that says something about this movie because in the past, when we go back to watch some of the older movies,
Yeah.
especially with the Rat Pack or the second coming of the Rat Pack, right? Because the
Brat
original Rob
Pack.
Lowe Pack,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the original Rob Lowe Pack, and then you got the new one, which is the Sarah Michelle Gellar and
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Freddie Prinze Jr. and all of those guys,
Mhm.
Courtney Cox even.
Yeah,
Those movies, they're a little problematic now.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
this one actually
This one
it's
wasn't.
still fun.
Yeah,
They didn't do too many things that would get you in trouble per se.
yeah,
I think they really
You know?
focused more on the horror and
Yeah.
and planning out all of those Easter eggs
Mhm.
than they did on sort of making it more pop culture.
Well, there's not a ton
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
there's not a ton of. I mean, I shouldn't say there's not a ton of.
The only thing that
backstory,
would be
but-
off watching the movie now is there's no cell phones
There's no
because he
cell
could have
phones,
just texted her like, "Hey, you're next."
Yeah. Yeah. Heads up. Heads up, you're next. Well, and the
I
other
kind of like
thing
that he
that
doesn't tell
probably
them, though.
wouldn't
He's like, we're
fly
all gonna
today.
die. Like we're all.
Oh,
in
they're in the
this.
car
Yeah.
and they all wanted to know. And he's like, no, it's all of us.
Yeah.
Oh, well, she said it's all of us.
Yeah.
But the one other part that probably wouldn't fly in a movie today is the just unbridled, what is it called? PA? No, what's it called? PDA. The unbridled PDA
Oh.
in the airport with Terry and freaking
Oh yeah.
Carter.
I
Like
was
that
thinking
wouldn't
that
fly
like
today.
the PDA and even just how close the airplane is to the airport, like they
Yeah.
don't really do that anymore. Like it's usually like a much further.
They take off further.
It's like,
away.
and you
Yeah.
can't even go. Yeah, like people used to also be able to. I remember I was thinking in the movie, it looks like our old international airport, Montreal Mirabel Airport, and how we used to be able, like, even just dropping somebody off, we could go and stand there and watch the plane take
Go
off.
stand there. Yeah,
Yeah.
we do. We used to do that. Stand there and just wait and wave to them. Or
Like,
meet them
full
at the
security
gate when they
check.
come with a cool sign in the lay.
Yeah.
I mean, the lay business went, it took a tank after
Aw.
9/11 because everybody used to stand there with just like handfuls of lays. So when you come
Aw.
home, somebody would
Oh,
pop the
that's so
lay on your neck
beautiful.
and give you the kiss. And they're like, okay, you're back. And I'm like, no, you can't do that.
Aw.
That's so sad. That's heartbreaking.
I hate that. I hate
I'm
that on
like,
so
no, I
many
want that
levels.
when I go to Hawaii.
Aw.
You used to always see all of the tourists. The first day they came, because everybody be wearing
Yeah.
the purple and white
Yeah.
orchid,
Yeah.
lay everywhere. It was just such a common thing. So now they
Yeah.
make up for it in graduations. They try to bury you like in lace. So the kids, they're like looking through a little crack. There's flowers from head to like
Yeah.
midriff,
Aw.
and then a floaty duck, and you got a sign
Isn't
that
that
says,
like
like
all the family
2026.
gives Like all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
family gives
yeah,
them lays. Like yeah,
yeah. And the OGs in the family, like the greats, great grandfather, great uncles, whatever,
yeah.
they do lays that are just hundies. And so,
Wow,
you're putting
Oh,
like a grand on the kid's
that's
neck.
awesome. I love it.
Isn't
I
that
that's
love
crazy?
traditions like that.
crazy.
Yeah.
Such beautiful,
When
yeah,
when the
beautiful
kids are
thoughts.
done, like they can barely walk. They have so much flowers on them. It's so heavy. It's pretty funny. It's like throwing the kids back out. He just finished school.
Oh.
That's really sweet.
All right. Well, what would everyone rate this one? I know I see a few people hanging out in our live studio audience. If you've seen this one or if we've convinced you, you can drop your rating in. I don't know if is there a Grim Reaper emoji? You may have to find the little skull
A
emoji.
scythe?
Yeah, there is the scythe. Yeah, I don't
Not
know.
that
What
we
do you?
saw a scythe in the movie, but traditionally,
No,
if you don't
no,
know, the Grim
It,
Reaper walks
no.
around with a scythe.
it got stuck in the door when he
Oh, that's
stopped the
true. You're
It
door.
got
right.
stuck in the
It
door. It
fell
made
That
an
was
because
a
appearance.
scythe.
it's for when you go fishing and you use it to hook like a
Yeah,
big fish
Yeah,
at the end of the, it's a gaff at the time, but it's just like
yeah.
basically shaped thing.
yeah,
Doc's
that's
going
true.
four,
You're
four
Yeah,
right.
buses. Four buses. What do you think,
yeah.
Nat?
I should have put Terry in the
I think
front.
it's a 4.
You think
I'd
it's a
say
four?
4.
You think it's a four? All
Yeah.
Yeah.
right, I may have to live update then. I went
Katie's like 5.
no,
Oh, you said
I was
3.
being good. I went 3. I went 3 because it like still is kind
I
of
love
like a
that being good for us is not giving it 5 stars. Like 5
well,
taters.
I'm live updating. I'm live updating. Wait, if you're listening, we gave it 4.
4 potatoes.
Yeah.
Not 3. George went all the way to 5. I love it. George gave
Yeah.
5 gravestones. It's funny.
It's
Once
one
we
of the
talked
rare
about it,
movies where the campiness is good,
yeah, it's
right?
Yeah.
So
intentional. Yeah.
Scream, and when they did
Love
the
it.
funny ones. Oh, the Wayans brothers did a really
Yeah.
hilarious black exploitation version of Scream,
Scary
which
Yeah.
movie.
was super funny,
Yeah.
like absolutely funny. And then there was another the comedy ones that were kind of like Airplane, but they were Scream. I saw what
Yeah.
you did last summer. No, that's not right. That's the actual movie.
That's the
That's
actual movie.
Freddie
Did
Prinze.
they do Scary Movie?
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, the
scary movie.
scary
That's what it is.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
And there's a
god,
bunch of
Like,
them.
not another
those
teen
are
movie.
Yeah, there's
so
not another teen
funny.
movie.
That's before Tara Reid went. But yeah,
Yeah.
those are so good. And so I kind of like George. I kind of like the way that they held it together and made it connect and drew
Yeah.
so many things to it.
And the
But some
references
of
to
the,
its like predecessors, and
yeah,
it was
yeah.
clever in that way if you caught it,
Luis is
But
giving it
the
4
weird gaps
trees.
in like why the heck is the bus going so fast? Like drives me insane.
Yeah.
And
And the
the
monitor
train,
exploding.
the monitor, right? That was wrong. And the train was so far back with all of the horn blowing that it was doing. It had
It could
ample
have
time to stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did. It didn't start
Yeah,
breaking. Like you didn't hear breaking
you
until it was
didn't know.
hitting the car.
But hey,
Like,
the
once it
conductor
hit the
was like,
car.
"Whatever, man.
Li-
I gotta get these Amazon packages
Little
where
did
they
you
gotta
know,
get.
in
Let me
both
just."
cases, if we had seen the behind the scenes of it, the train is just filled with dead people, and Death is just driving it, and the bus is just all dead people, and the guy's like body is on it, like cranking the full. It would have been like hilarious if they just went all in on it. What's funny,
Yeah.
I don't think I thought about this until you were both talking, but it is interesting because Scream took the concept of being like, what if we took a horror movie, but then also like did a satire on the concept of a horror movie. So like Scream is
Yeah.
funny, but it's really much more like satire than like straight up
Yeah.
humor. Whereas this
It's
one
still
went
scary.
more slapsticky, like not
Yes, it's slapstick
yeah. This
instead of
one's
satire.
it's definitely not like it's not as I don't want to use the word thought. It's not as like it isn't as thought provoking. I don't think as Scream. Like Scream is trying to like make a commentary on the actual genre, whereas this one is just being really clever and witty and slapsticky. And I like that
Well,
they're
and to
different but
ensure,
both clever in what they're doing.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, and to ensure that it's not thought provoking, whenever he had one of his wild ass suppositions, they were really crazy.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
you're like, no, dude, no.
And then you
And I
have the
think that was
FBI being like,
yeah, that was
what?
done on purpose to kind of like let you know, like, no, we're not trying to give you any weird thoughts for you to go home and ponder this. Like these are intentionally
Yeah.
Chris Bridges ludicrous thoughts. And so I thought that was cool too. Like so they really I would say that Wong did some really incredible
Yeah.
things to make it stand on its own, but make sure you didn't leave with some sort of complex.
True.
Whereas,
Yeah.
like, after Exorcist was over, yo, because it happened in
Yeah.
our neighborhood, you know, in theory,
That
in
movie
real life,
actually
which
scares me. Like, I
yes,
don't like
yeah,
watching that one. That
like
one is like,
we used to go to that house and we would go all the way up to the fence, and it's a lot of steps. Like, it's crazy ass amount of
Why?
steps. And because it was just a teen thing to do, right? You know,
Yeah,
you
that's
got some
true.
beers, you're a teen drinking is very bad. And so we go to the front, and then somebody's like, okay, I'm going to climb over the fence. And then somebody was like, oh, I see Reagan in the window. And we'd all go running down gigantic concrete steps. And at the end of the steps are wrought iron spikes. And it's like, you know, this is really stupid on all accounts. But that movie left an impression that made you
Yeah.
want to test the theory,
Yeah.
right? Whereas I feel like this one, like you knew what it was meant to be,
Yeah.
and it's still good,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
different. You know, it's
Yeah.
like somebody saying, "I'm going to go out." Oh, it's like Alton Brown did it. Alton Brown is like, "I'm going to go out of my way and build like the most gourmet grilled cheese possible." That's almost what it's like, or the most
Yeah.
gourmet PB&J
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
I
it was
agree.
fantastic. It was well done, and it was both like it was suspenseful and but not too scary. And I find the ones like
Okay,
you said, like The
guys,
Exorcist.
5. You're right.
You're like it's 5. It's 5 taters.
It's George's fault. Like it's
It
really
is.
George,
George's
you're
fault.
right. You're right. It's 5.
I'm gonna
I
put it
can't
on
wait
George.
to watch all the rest of them. And I have not yet seen the new one. So now that I've
Me
rewatched this
neither.
one, this will be my binging on the other side of the event that Doc and I are doing. That I will
Yeah.
catch up on all of the rest of them. But
The funny thing is, I
listen,
started to watch it on the plane, and then when I saw them go to the airport, I remembered, and
you're
I was
like,
like, "No,
no,
I can't watch this on the plane." People on the plane would get really pissed at you if you watch this movie on the
yeah,
plane.
no, don't do
I
Not
think
that.
even
so.
because of the jump scares, just because of the plane
Yeah,
scenes.
no,
Yeah, it's like
don't do
let's
that.
not jinx the plane.
Don't do that. Well, exciting news if you have stuck around with us to this point of the evening, or you're watching or listening to this later. We've been talking for the last, I don't know now, what, like over a year about the idea of doing a watch party, but we think we finally figured it out. So, so we are going to do our first watch party at the beginning of October. And we'll test it all out with anyone that wants to join us. But you have to be on our email list because we're going to send an email out. So you have to be an official club member. Don't worry, it doesn't really take a whole lot. You literally just have to join the email list. We'll send you an invite and then you can jump in. We're going to watch Empire Records because Josh hasn't seen it yet. And it just felt like a very appropriate movie for us just to kick off with. Although I now
that's cool.
feel like Final Destination should be one we should watch together. But we will start with Empire Records and then we'll see if we can do one a month. So definitely
Empire
keep an eye out
Records
for
just
that.
came out. I think it came out September 22nd.
Yeah.
But
Like,
like
it just came out
in
but in the
1995.
past. It just
It
came
was
out
just its
a long time
anniversary.
ago, but yeah.
It was its anniversary like this week. So yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks to Doc for staying up way late after
Yay.
spending all the time
Long
flying
flight.
and long flight. It was always more fun when we have friends on the pod. And next week, so we're continuing our spooky movie, our spooky season movie run. So we're going to be talking about Lost Boys. So join us next Thursday, 9 p.m. East for one of Nat's favorites, Lost Boys. All I can see
Is the oiled up saxophone player.
up saxophone player, and also Kiefer Sutherland. So we're all in for.
I do love on social media, kids are just finding this movie and
Yeah.
they're like, why
Why,
is there
though?
that oiled up saxophone player? Like they're fixated on why is he there? We don't know, it was the 80s. Like, why isn't he?
Well, George is taking all the blame and responsibility, and Josh is saying, yes, now that movie came out 30 years ago.
30 years ago. Just came out on September 22nd.
Just came
30 years ago.
out. Just came out. And thanks, Louise.
I'm gonna send you a link, Katie. I'm gonna send you a link to this hotel that I stay in a place called Otaru, Japan. It's
Okay.
one of the most northern points. If you go in the water and you got in a boat, the next piece of land you would hit is Russia.
Okay.
And this
Okay.
hotel is on the sea cliff at the very top. There's a Ferris wheel at the bottom. It gives all the Lost Boys vibes. And every time we go there, I always tell Karen, like, this is our Lost Boys hotel.
You'll have to
I
send
want to see when
photos.
when
Yeah.
you see it, if you like look at the area, look at like the pictures from around the area, you'd be like, oh yeah, this totally gives the Lost Boys vibe. And now the carnival is well, not quite abandoned, but like they don't open it anymore,
Yeah.
so it even adds to it. Oh, it's perfect.
Perfect.
It's
Absolutely
super
perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well, thank you for everyone for joining us, and thanks to Doc for joining. Make sure you sign up for our email list so that we can invite you to our first ever VHS Club watch party, Empire Records, coming early October. And yeah, keep in the loop for more fun things that we finally figure out now that we're past episode 100. Who knows what's possible? And obviously some fun and exciting episodes coming up as well. So thank you, and we will see you for Lost Boys next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Getting out, walking the scene